Hello, people. So I am back. The other day, I tore down the remaining part of the head from my B16, and now we're off to the block now. The block is pretty much stripped for the most part. I just have a couple of sensors that I do want to take off. Obviously, I have to pull the water pump off, and then of course I am going to take the oil pump off as well as the oil pan, but it's already pretty much bare and stripped. At this point, flywheel's off, everything's off. So just wanted to give you guys an update video on the block now. So I'm going to definitely send this in to get hot tanked and cleaned up. I clean it as best as I can, but I know getting it in a hot tank, it will clean it the way that I want it to be. And at that point, I'll decide if I want to paint it or not. But I think I'd probably just leave it natural if it can get clean good enough. But I definitely want to get these pistons out. I want to check my the bearings and everything. Take a look at the crank. Make sure nothing's scorned. But I'm going to be polishing the crank anyways. Hopefully there's no issues with it or anything. Today is the original B16 from my Del Sol. So 27 years down. I'm not even tripping if there is an issue or a problem with it. I'll just figure it out as I go along. But so far, everything's been good. No bolts have been broken off. Nothing has been stripped. So everything seems to be okay. It's not bad for a stock engine in a sense. So it was, I would say it was taken care of for the most part. But just bear with me while I get my tools and everything set up. And I'm going to have to tilt this motor so I can drain whatever leftover oil has been since I started taking it apart. So it makes it easier for me when I flip it upside down to start taking the oil pan and everything off so I don't have a bunch of oil left. But I will be back with you guys in a moment. Okay, so I am back now. I am going to, I rotated the block, and I am going to start removing the oil pan bolts so I can pull the oil pan off and we can get this started. Try to do my best in removing the bolts in a crisscross pattern, just so it's not all taken off one bolt after the other right next to each other. I think that's a general rule when you're taking off bolts like this. That's cool. I didn't even have to pry it off. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so at this point, I'm now going to pull off the pickup. Sorry, I had to go get a couple of Ziploc bags. Like I said, I tag and bag everything. This makes it easy so I can keep track of everything and nothing gets lost. So at this point, I'm gonna pop this girdle. Yeah, not bad at all. Hey, bear with me while I get my tools. I'll be right back so I can get these caps of pistons and stuff off. Okay, people, I'm back. So this is going to be the remaining part of the crankshaft parts, the pistons, the caps, the bearings. I'm going to take them out and see how everything looks. I'm gonna have to get the oil pump off and then the rear main, so I can see about pulling the crank out. Like I said, so I can get this block sent off. I'm not sure if I'm going to be boring my cylinders or not. I'm still back and forth in between turbocharging and just staying natural. I'm kind of leaning towards the natural part. I know there's not a lot of torque behind B16s, but I think my thing about it is if I had a Del Sol or a Civic just with a single cam and I was doing an engine swap, the engine swap at that point is generally kind of illegal in the sense anyways because I'm in Cali. So I don't think I would care at that point because the engine swap would already be illegal in the sense. Of course, you can get it possibly passed or whatever it is, going to the ref and such, but just putting the engine alone is generally speaking already illegal. So I would just might as well go full on at that point. So I think my thinking is that since it is a Del Sol VTEC that the B16 is stock in it, that I can generally just build the internals up and it still just be a B16, and I don't have to worry, and my compression not be too high to where I have to worry about anything timing wise. I'd obviously just get a carb legal header and just try to keep things as not a stock, but in the point of being able to pass smog in the sense. And of course, if I can't, then I'll figure it out and do whatever I got to do. But I think that's my reason why I'm wanting to stay natural or whatever it is. And I think it probably in the long term, it'll probably be more reliable in the sense where if I turbocharge it, it'll just be counting the days down until it gets blown or have to build another motor or whatever. So yeah, we're just going to continue. That's just where my head is right now. So I still got a little time to think about it or whatever. But like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be boring the pistons out. I thought about getting the block sleeved, but I know that's when you're getting the high horsepower numbers. But I'm just kind of like, well, I have it apart. Like I want to build it just the way I want to, so everything already be done. Later on down the line, if I decide I wanted a turbocharger or something like that, then at least I would know that the block is sleeved and ready to rock and roll. So at that point, I'd have to figure out piston sizes and if I have to bore it or not. So for right now, I'm just enjoying the time, taking it apart and getting it ready for whatever it is I decide to do. So let's carry on at this point. Let me get my tools. Okay. It doesn't look bad. 3. Should have gone and just popped right out. Okay. That's 1. All right. I try to be neat about everything and put everything back the way that I took it off. I'm going to be changing pistons and rods anyway, so it doesn't matter, but just to stay neat. This is piston number 3. Okay. All right. Piston number 2. Now you can see it's fairly simple. Just pull the 2 bolts off. They're 14s. Cap, and then you have the bearing inside. Thing looks good so far. But we'll just keep going. It's piston number 2. So what I'll do now is I'll rotate the crank. Okay. Okay. Piston number 1. All right, now last one. Okay. Okay, and last one. And you gotta excuse me. Those bolts were they were 13s. It's 13 millimeter socket for the nuts for the piston. Okay, so we got those out. They don't look scorned at all. They look actually pretty good. Really good. So I'll probably do some minor polishing, as it won't need much. They're nice and clean, so I don't have to worry about replacing the crank or anything for the most part, at least from what I can see so far. But go ahead and get the remaining parts off, and we can go and get the crank out and go from there. So it's the crank caps that are 14. The breaker bar. Okay, I'm back. So I now have, I had to get a breaker bar, I'm sorry. Okay, now I can take the caps off. Okay. It's number 4. And if you notice, they're all numbered. So it start at 5 and then go 4, and then it's 3, 2, and then 1. So you know, and it has the arrow pointing to the direction, per se, of the oil pump or the crank pulley. It all points that way, so you know you won't get them mixed up. That's number 3. Yeah, that one's got some scoring on that one. Been good. The bearings are going to be replaced. Now these 2 end ones. Gonna be a little harder. Also got some scoring. Number 1. And probably this one. I just have to get the rear main off, so that seems like that'll probably be the way to get that last one off. It's a little tough coming out of there, so I'll just continue on. let's say it'll be 4 10mm and 2 12s. So you're gonna slide the gear off, and the gear is slotted. You see the little slot there. So it's the same thing on the actual crank. That's gonna have that slot, so then you can't mess that up. When it goes in, it can only go in one way. Let's pull that off. Also this washer. Keep those like so. Yeah, 1 2 1 2 3 4 bolts. That's that. Okay, so try to give it a nice little hit. Okay, there's the oil pump. About this side. And I got 1 2 3 4 5 10 mils. if I can change the view for you guys. So there's, on the oil main side, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Try to get a ratchet in there, but it's too tight with the okay. Those 5 bolts out. It's a little tight, obviously, when you have the engine stand bolted up. Thank God I've seen people put it on here with the flywheel still on. So I'm just like, that's crazy. And then you're trying to get the flywheel bolts out. I mean, you can do it, I guess, but that's why I took it off before, so it just made it a little bit easier.
There you have it, the rear main seal here. Good. Now to get this last crank cap off. Yeah, it's a little bit easier once you do get the oil pump, the rear main off. Makes it a little bit easier, gives you a little bit more space to knock this one loose. All right. And there you have it. Number 5. Adjust the camera. All right. There you have it. It cranks out. One. Two. First one. Fourth one. And the fifth one. All right, so there you have it. And of course, there are your oil squirters. They're down here. As you can see them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It squirts oil in the piston. But that's pretty much it. The oil pump's off, the rear main's off. So now the block is off to go get hot tanked so it can get as clean as possible. And that's it. So that's just an updated video on the continuation of the block tear down. So as you can see here, all the components. As I said, you got your remain up here with all the bolts. At the oil pump here, then you got all 4 of your pistons. You got all your piston caps, so I screwed those on. Then you got the crank caps themselves with the bearings. Then the crank itself. The one thing that I do want to note for you is do not lay your crank down on its side. It'll then warp. Always stand it up. Obviously, right side up, as it won't be able to stand up the other way. You just don't want it to flex while sitting flat. Whether something may happen or not, it's always best to stand it up like this. So that is it. If you guys have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. I'll take them good or bad. If there's anything that I did wrong or anything that you think I could do better on, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, you guys continue to watch, like, and share, and I'll see you guys in the next one.